Welcome to Sing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Tyler, and we are here after the Lady Raiders just finished their regular season. They beat Arizona State to get their 12th Big 12 win of the season. They finished Big 12 place 12-6, 25-6 overall. The most wins in a season since 2004, the most Big 12 wins in a season since 2005. Do the math on that. Anyway, weird years. But big time stuff in the Lady Raiders. We're going to talk all about that and what it means. And of course, we'll break down the game a little bit and what is ahead for them, the Big 12 tournament. They will play on Thursday at 11 a.m. So go to Kansas City if you want to. I should actually be there, but come say hey. Or watch on TV at 11 a.m. We'll see if they can go on a run. Bracket doesn't fall too bad, but it's the Big 12. It's chaos. So we're going to talk all about that. We're going to talk about Big 12 champs. 4-peat on the men's side in track, back-to-back for the women's in track. Of course, softball just breaking all sorts of records out there at the Rock this weekend. And then men's basketball going on the road and taking down Iowa State. All of that to come. Like, subscribe, follow, all the things. But yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, it was a really fun winning weekend for Texas Tech. I mean, yesterday alone, we just had, everybody was winning baseball, softball, tennis, track. Men's basketball.
So much winning, I couldn't handle all the winning.
I know, there was
No
just
hitters.
so much going on. No hitters. It was just an insanely fun weekend. And then, yeah, your men and women's track and field team yet again swept the Big 12 Indoor Championships.
Build the statue.
It was a little bit closer this time. We only won by 1 point in the men's standings, 125 to 124. Sounded like it took a while to figure that out, but
lots of protests.
Yes,
yeah,
lots of protests. Took like an hour apparently. So that sounds like that was a very stressful moment, but luckily they had already won and celebrated. Or luckily they won and celebrated in the right fashion. And then the women won by 4.5 points. Took down BYU yet again and are back-to-back champions. Part of that was Ruta Lastmain. She won the Big 12 triple jump a year after just tearing her Achilles, and she got her second indoor crown title, leaping at 45 feet and 3 inches.
I don't know if y'all have ever done triple jump, but to do that a year after tearing your Achilles is absurd.
Nuts.
I'm just saying.
Insane. Yes. So shout out to Ruta. That's absolutely incredible. She'll likely play for her country's national team. I forget where she's from. Is she from like Sweden or something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm sure she'll be trying to go in the Olympics in 2028.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these people will be.
For sure. And then fast, Malachi Snow on the men's side. He was the meet's highest point performer. He won both the 60-meter and the 60-meter hurdle, so he got 20 points in total. He went 7.43 seconds in the hurdles, and then 20 minutes later he clocked in 6.46 seconds in the 60-meter dash. George Garcia won the 600-yard, and then his teammate ended up getting second in the 600-yard, and he actually beat his teammate's former record in that event. So that's pretty cool right there. Jonathan Sermes won the men's triple jump. Stephen Mutai captured the 800-meter title with a time of 1 minute 48 seconds. And on the women's side, Tony Ann Forbes dropped a blistering time of 7.91 seconds for a new school record in her dash. The women's 4x400 team got second overall. That consists of Mackenzie Kelly and Anita Efrifa, Lovina Owusi, and Vanessa Baldi. Sorry if I butchered all your names. But they ran that in 3 minutes, 31.44 seconds to clinch the title over BYU. So that was ultimately what pushed them over, getting second in that. Lily Mather lowered her school record in the 1,000 meter to 2 minutes, 45.99 seconds. She ended up placing fourth overall, and she's the first Tech woman ever to dip under the 2 minute and 46 second mark. And then Tamaya Washington scored second in the triple jump with a mark of 44 feet and 8 1/4 inch. 4 Red Raiders actually scored in the triple jump. So yeah, our women's triple
really
jump team is insane.
In the high jump too. I don't see the high jump on here, but why am I blanking on her name? The goat that she is won again.
Temitope Adesina.
Yeah,
right?
she won the high jump. That was on like Friday. It was like one of the few events on Friday night, I think, or whatever. But yeah, she won that as well. So our field events really carried the women. Before the meet, I don't think the women were expected to win, but it's Texas Tech, so they found a way to repeat because their big distance runner got hurt. She pulled a calf muscle a couple weeks ago, so she couldn't run in this. And so that's like a lot of points there. So it's like 20 points they could have gotten from her in different events. And so they really had to carry, and they had like 4 people, to get just in the triple jump alone really helped make up for that. So yeah, shout out track and field. They will be on to nationals soon. Good for them. Women's basketball trying to get back before track won a national championship in 2019. They were the only team title on campus, was women's basketball. They're trying to get back to that lore, and they are finally going to be headed back to the NCAA tournament. We can say that with confidence. We'll find out where and all that 2 weeks from now on Selection Sunday. But before that, they got to go to the Big 12 tournament on Thursday, as I said at the beginning of this. They wrapped up their season tonight as we're recording this, Sunday, earlier in the day, against Arizona State. 58-51. It was a true rock fight. I mean, these are two not just the better defensive teams in the conference, but metrically rated two of the best defensive teams in the country. We talk a lot about our defensive rating being really high. I believe theirs in recent weeks has passed our defensive rating on Torvik. Like when we didn't do a preview of them, but when I was prepping for it, before we ended up doing the Gerlich interview, which go back 2 episodes or whatever it is to watch Krista Gerlich talk about the seniors. It's great. That was such a good interview. We just we can't crop this down. It's just going to be its own thing. And so we didn't end up previewing Arizona State. But I do believe I saw that they were ahead of us on the defensive rating, which is hard to do. Mm-hmm. They just can't score really at all. And so that's what saved you on a day that you had trouble getting it going, whether it was senior day emotions, a really good defense that you were going against. And then, of course, Sonata Collins went out injured midway through the second quarter took a really hard shot to head neck area. I don't know specifically where she got hit. That's what it looked like on the replay, and did not return to the game. Gerlich did say after, when I asked, though, the update was good. She said she got a good report after the game. She should be fine, and she's not. The biggest part of that was she's not in concussion protocol. Because if she was, there's no way she could play this week, because that keeps you out at least a week. So she cleared concussion stuff, probably was just kept out of the rest of the game for precautionary reasons. There's no reason to push it. And the team stepped up without her, Tyler. So I thought it was really fitting. The people, I'm a storyteller at my core. And so this whole season has felt like a movie, right? Just different parts of it. Even going back to when they set the record for the best start to a season in school history, it was 16-0, right? When they did that. Yeah. Adley and Danae were also the players that were big in that game and were in the post-game press conference. I remember that because I made a clip about them, and then I had to go do the same thing tonight. But it felt fitting that Adley was a big part of that, and Danae was, for the reasons that they got here. It felt just as fitting that they were, in my opinion, a big reason we won this game, for sure, along with Sydney and Jada. Those 4 combined scored, I believe, all the points in a 16-2 run. It might be able to stretch it out to 19-2, 19-4 maybe as well. But something like that run in the third quarter when you were originally down 5. What was it? 34-29 with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Sydney made an and one. Had to go get it. Sydney just has a great feel for the game. It's like she just knows, like, okay, I need to stop being facilitator. I need to go get a bucket. And she just does it. And sometimes you're like, hey, maybe you could do this more. Like, am I greedy? But anyway, she just goes and does it. And she got an and one. And then Danae hit a big 3 after that. Asked her after the game. She just said, Coach has been encouraging me to shoot when I'm open. So I shot it and I made it. It's the most Danae Fritz answer ever. But it was deep. It was a deep 3 and she was willing to take it and she nailed it. That gave us a brief lead. And then they immediately, this was Arizona State's 1 bucket in the 16-2 run. So they made a bucket on the other end in transition. Beat us down. And then from there, we outscored them the rest of the way. Back-to-back buckets from Jada Malone that were assisted by Sydney Love in that stretch. And then Fritz got 2 free throws in a weird, somehow she got fouled and was in bonus. Still don't really understand what happened there. They reviewed it and she ended up shooting 2 free throws. Now all of a sudden we're up 41-36. We had a timeout at that point with a minute and a half left to go in the third quarter. A 5-point lead, we would have taken that. But Adley Blacklock said, no, I'm greedy. She comes out of the timeout, hits a 3, drills it. She had taken a few shots before that, but Adley does not stop shooting. On a night where a lot of people looked a little tentative, Adley's never afraid of the moment, never afraid of the lights. She doesn't know what they are. She said in the postgame she blacked out, so maybe that's why. She makes the 3, she's blacked out, doesn't know what's going on. Then we get a stop, come back down. There's a few seconds left. She gets a transition chance. They foul her on a 3.
They did. And
then Adley is not a bad free throw shooter by any means, but she's not like a 90% free throw shooter like you'd think for a great 3-point shooter. I think she's like 70% or something, and she nailed all 3.
She
Clutch. clutch free throws. Reminded me of Jalen Bristow against Colorado on March 1st last year. A lot of similarities to that game if you think about it. And that was Adley in this game doing that. So she went on a 6-0 run to end that stretch, but overall I believe it was 16-2. It was definitely 12-0 to end the quarter. All of a sudden we're up 11 after that. And that's how this team can do. They can just get on a run. It can be mud all of a sudden. And Adley, Danae, Sydney, Jada, not a soul of those are leading three leading scorers on the team. Not a soul. Now, Jalen Bristow, credit where credit's due, carried the team. The first quarter, we'll talk maybe more about her in a second, because she really carried the seniors when they needed time to settle in, and scored 12 of their first 14 in the first quarter. And then this group took over late. And Bailey was still Bailey out there doing the small things that she was, but she was attracting a lot of attention on defense. And then with Snudda out, other people had to step up, and those were the four that did it. And so, I don't know, I just felt fitting that it was Adley. You know, she came back home to help this team do what she did. We had her on the show in the summer. We've told that story before, and she walked into the Gerlich's office and said, "I'm all in. I don't need this spiel. You don't have to tell me. I'm all in. I want to do this." She like turned it on Gerlich and was like, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to get him back." Like, that's who she is. And then Danae Fritz, if you listen to my interview with Krista Gerlich, which again, go listen to it. It's great. Krista was like, "I've wanted Danae Fritz on the team for like 2 years. I've tried every time."
Yes.
And when she got in the portal again from Baylor, this was a great story. When she got in the portal from Baylor, Coach Giroux called her immediately and said, "Danae, you're my head coach's favorite player in the Big 12. I don't know if you want to stay in the Big 12 again, but..." And then that happened. Her sister obviously lives in Lubbock, so it worked out. And Danae has had quite the journey to get here, and she's gone from kind of being an important player on a lot of these teams that she was on before. Now she's a leader, and Gerlich credited her with stepping up in this game and speaking up in the huddles, and something that they've had to work on her doing, and because she's never been in that role until this year, to be a captain on a team. And even this year she has Bailey probably as well, but for whatever reason she was stepping up and talking a lot in this game, and I think that's important. I don't think we talked about it on the show, I can't remember, but we've talked about it, like we thought Danae would be important down the stretch, like she's been here, and we just needed her to really start speaking up. I don't remember when we talked about that, but it was just great to hear that she's doing that. So add it to the story, it just made sense that it was those two in a lot of ways to me, especially Adley being the Lubbock native, and then Danae being someone that you literally, if you want to talk about the Moneyball like storyline, this is a movie, right? Danae's that, like, oh, she's been there, done that. She's taken kind of like a turn on her career, needs to get back right and get her career back on track, but she's already shown that she can win championships. We're going to take that player and she's going to come help us do that. We're going to resurrect our careers together. Snowda Collins is in that same vein. She's there, and she stepped up and did it on a night where Bailey Maupin is the highlight feature, right? That's who a lot of people were there to see. And Adley, as the local kids, it's everybody else that steps up as well, and I think that's what makes this team great. And Gerlich kind of said that we have each other's backs, is what she said, and I think that goes players to coaches and coaches to players as well. Like, if you talk shit about that coaching staff, those players are gonna punch you in the face. Like, I genuinely believe that. I don't know if I believe that about every team that we cover, but like, I genuinely think that they would. You know what I mean? And I think that goes both ways, and I think that will serve them well ahead. So I'm sure we have more thoughts, but I'll let you kind of share yours. I know we both were running around a lot in this game, but what was your viewpoint on it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a very much a really big defensive game, and I was glad that we were able to go on that run. And like you said, I think that the players that stepped up today were all the players that have had that, NCAA tournament experience, and are really, they came here to play in March. They wanted Texas Tech to go far in March, not just in like a WBIT or some silly after postseason tournament, but, they're like, we're going to get us back
the real
after,
thing.
the real thing, 10-year drought. Or more than that, 12, 13-year drought, actually. And they went out and did that. And I think that's important at this point in the season. Both of your leading scorers weren't able to really get it going offensively today, but then the other people on the team were able to step up, and it really helped show our depth. I mean, I was just talking about earlier before the show, like today, like Charlie Cream, for example, moved us up to a 5 seed on the line for the NCAA tournament. And
he was impressed with our win.
I know, he was impressed with our win. And I mean, you have to take a look at, like, now's the time when it matters. The Big 12 tournament is a huge opportunity for you to really get things going. And I mean, these players right now that are coming off the bench and are able to help us with that. that is going to be super huge. But yeah, overall, I was really happy they were able to get on a run. I was happy we were able to close out the game because the past 2 games we just got to the fourth quarter and just forgot how to basketball. So it was really good to see us get back into that winning formation and to really take care of business when Arizona State was trying to claw their way back in.
Yeah, and speaking of those 2 players that were in the post game for a reason, Danae Fritz stopped that run, which was something we couldn't do against Kansas and Colorado for whatever reason. She wasn't taking a lot of shots in those games, and she heard her coach take a shot if you're open, and I don't even know if she was completely open on both these, but she took a big shot in the fourth quarter after Arizona State started it on a 6-0 run. She hit that. All of a sudden, it's back to a 9-point lead or whatever it was, and then it was just really hard at that point for Arizona State to ever, with their shooting troubles, to really ever pile on you. But if you don't hit that shot, then it starts to spiral on you, I think. And so it was just good to see. And then when you get Bailey and Snoda back to who they are, which I don't have any doubt that they will be soon,
right?
Now you have this confidence from Adley, and I don't know that Danae ever lacks confidence this year, but who knows? But to step into that role and know like, oh, I can do more than just be a defensive leader if I need to go score. She showed that. All 10 of her points came in the second half when Snoda Collins was out. I think that is not a coincidence. She knew that she needed to do something in this game. So let's show the highlights, and then we'll talk about the story of it and all the things that they broke, because that's really what there is. We could sit here and break down the film, but like, let's be real. We all know what the story of this game is and all the magnitude and the records they broke, but they win, they get highlights, Tyler. So let's show them. It's the Jalen Bristow show early. We've done this a lot where we score on the first possession. We're like, all right. And then it's like a 5-minute scoring drought.
Right.
2 good defensive teams. Jalen again, this is the Jalen Bristow show. Just hooping. They didn't have anybody that could guard her. Like most teams we played cannot guard Jalen Bristow. Only Jalen Bristow can stop Jalen Bristow. Snoda Collins, same thing. I mean, and she had a big game in Colorado. Like, it's good stuff to see Jalen Bristow getting hot at the right time of year. She did that last year too.
Look at that pass.
Our offense was good. We just got a little stagnant at times, but when we were moving it and like trusting or passing, like someone got open every time.
Good. There we go, Bailey.
Did we skip all the way ahead? That's the end of the second quarter. She didn't get her first bucket until under 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Not a lot of action, so we jumped all the way ahead there, I guess. Or these are out of order.
There we go, Sarah.
Like, it was a weird game where it was a frustrating game, but I never really was concerned in this game outside of Snoda getting injured. Because we were just always in it, even though we weren't scoring. And you just felt like eventually someone would get it going. We'd go on one of our runs. And we did that finally. This is where we're down 5. This is the big and one from Sydney. I don't know if we win this game without this play. She just has a good feel for the game. And she goes and gets the bucket when she needed it. Now you're going to get a big 3 from Danae. She said she was open. So she shot it. All right. Nailed it.
But the medical staff taking a look at her. Danae Fritz.
Danae again.
Is this the same play again?
Or it might have been the same play.
I think they just showed the same play.
Same play.
You know, I don't blame the highlight cutter. Let's just show it twice. This was a great pass from Sydney to Jada. This will look like a repeat because they do it twice in a row, but it is 2 different plays. That Sydney gets it to Jada in the lane. Same little pass.
Look, just leaving her wide open.
Yeah, they kept doubling Sydney, and she's like, "Thank you." Her and Jada have they've always had a great relationship when they're on the court together. That was a big steal. Now you're gonna get Adley 3. Oh wait, no, this is. There we go. These highlights are all out of whack, and it's confusing me. So we missed. How did they miss the Adley 3s? Is that they weren't in there? Were they? Is that not wild to you?
Yeah,
what's
that
going
is
on
wild.
with these highlights? Anyway, it's fine. Everybody was excited and trying to get to senior day, but
Right.
I don't know what was going on there. But in that stretch, that's probably what happened is they clipped the Danae 3 twice, and that was supposed to be the Adley 3.
Probably.
I bet if you go on YouTube, maybe their YouTube highlights are their longer, correct ones. Sometimes the ones that end up on Twitter, that's where we get them, are like the first cut, if you will. And they sometimes have those errors, I've noticed. Yeah, Adley hit those big 3s, and I asked her after the game, like, if she ever realizes how loud the crowd gets when she enters the game. And then she got emotional, and I swear I'm never trying to make these people cry. And like I was like, this is not the end of the season, even though I knew that was going to be the tone of the press conference because it's the final game at home. But I was like, no, I'm going to like try to keep it about the game and like try to mostly keep it. And then that made her cry, and I was like, well, we're not going to make it. But I don't blame her. It's an emotional moment to be playing in your home city on senior night, and to have, I mean, she is a critical reason we don't win the game without Adley Blacklock in this game. And we said in our season preview, I'm pretty sure the words came out of her mouth. You picked her as your whatever.
I did. I did pick,
Adley's and I said, like Adley's going to be one of those players that doesn't play a lot all the time, but she's going to step up in big moments, and she's going to win us a couple of big games this year. And I think you've seen that happen, and this is one of them for sure. She did it, and then that one earlier in the year, and I have no doubt that Adley Blacklock and her experience playing on an Elite 8 team that's made a run before, and just her positive attitude and her energy and her fearlessness in the moment. Like, she's not afraid of the stage because she's been there, right? And she's been there and she's ready for it anytime. And she's trained herself to stay ready because she has to in her role. And if other people can feed off that, maybe that'll be big. So, but yeah, she was just talking about how she'll never get used to playing in front of this crowd, and she's going to miss it. Obviously, listen, never say never. If they win the Big 12 tournament, there's an outside chance they could host, but it's like, they'd probably need to beat TCU and West Virginia, who are both in line to host right now. So you need to beat them again, and then you have a big case for like, hey, we've beaten them twice. Like there's a chance that they could host in Lubbock, but it involves not just winning the Big 12 tournament, but needing to beat TCU and West Virginia, in my opinion, to knock them down.
Right.
That's beside the point. So if this was the last time, ask her that, and then ask Danae as well. And Danae gave a great answer as well, and said that it's one of the best fan bases in the country. Retweet. And that she's just going to miss how loud it gets, and that she really appreciated seeing the crowd grow or as the season went on, and then supporting them from start to finish by getting bigger. And that most of all, she appreciates that they embraced her with open arms as a transfer. And yeah, this fan base loves Danae Fritz and Adley Blacklock. They love them all, but those are two little cult heroes of this fan base, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
And we've had Adley on the show, and I know, for the love of God, we know you want we get all of your messages, I promise. But it sounds like today, according to Gerlich, might be sticking around Lubbock. So even if she doesn't come on the show while she's a current player, maybe she's one of those that down the line we'll get on here to eventually, along with Bailey. We'll try, guys. But yeah, we know that y'all love Danae Fritz, and she loves y'all back, as you heard. And they're both going to be big pieces heading into the Big 12 tournament, and that's what this season's about. So like I said, we can keep yammering on about the game, but we all know what it is. They finished 25-6, 12-6 in the Big 12. Like I said, that's the most wins since 2004, 2005. They're going to be a 5 seed. They actually finished. It'll go down in the history books as finished tied for 4th place in the Big 12 standings after being picked to finish 13th.
Wow.
Y'all. Everybody else up there, I think they were all picked to finish 1, 2, 3, 4, if I remember right. Those were the 4 teams that they were picked in that order to start the year, and we almost broke that little club up, but just lost the tiebreaker to Oklahoma State. Ironically, beat all 3 teams ahead of them.
Right.
Because that's us this year. But they did some big things, and that's the story of this team. And so I'll close it with this before we get into the Big 12 stuff, before Tyler says his piece. But someone sent me a clip 2 days ago. Well, first they texted me and said, y'all know y'all called this, right? And I said, called, what are you talking about? They're like, Bailey Maupin senior year. And I was like, I don't really know what you're talking about. And they sent a clip, and it was from like a show that we did. It was back when Sibby was on the show. Pre-Tyler. He was like our little intern back then.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you were doing anything show, if you were even on campus yet. First year, they were doing it, and it was a clip, and I'm not showing it to you because it's just like terrible quality. But you can go back and find the episode, our little weelings in the beginning. And it said in there, it was Bailey Maupin's freshman year. We started in January. We were covering that team, and that team was trying to get to the postseason for the first time in 13 years, just in any kind of postseason. And they did that. They got in the WNIT. And we said, just hang on to this team, because when Bailey Maupin is a senior, that is the year that Texas Tech is going to compete for a Big 12 championship. Now, in this video, we talk about how at that point we should have already made the NCAA tournament and da-da-da, and that It would be Jazz Shavers and Kyla Freeland and Bailey Maupin and whoever else is behind them as seniors and juniors, and then someone named Aaliyah Chavez would be the freshman. Mm-hmm. And by that point, that could be the year you compete to win the Big 12 title. None of that happened except that Bailey Maupin is still here and Krista Gerlich and a couple of staff members. The main thing there is Bailey Maupin's still here, and it still happened in the sense that we still competed for a Big 12 title without all of that other stuff. So it's just like such a credit to Bailey Maupin and the staff for sticking through it, because listen, I've covered basically every game for this team for 4 years now. It's wild that they've played, and we've talked about it on the show. And so everything, I know more about Texas Tech sports than I want to sometimes. And so I know the full story, and this program was teetering on the edge of like a complete having to reset again, it felt like last year. And this team on March 1st last year, exactly a year ago, I'm packing up my house in North Carolina to move. And I remember them as I'm packing it up beating Colorado. And that was the start of this Burn the Bats episode that we had before that and all that stuff, right? And they flipped it. And they went on that run, and then this year's team kind of carried over in a whole different way. And now they've won again on March 1st. Maybe they'll go do it. But anyway, someone sent me that clip, and it is just crazy that it still worked out. And I was like, well, we didn't really call it. But I guess we called Bailey Maupin's senior year. But it is still kind of crazy that it still happened. It was just completely like, we thought it was going to be this path, and it was like a path, and they still got there eventually. So I just think that stuff's pretty cool, and that's what sports and kind of life is about, and this team did it, and a lot of faces that we didn't know would be on the team at this point, right? Bailey Maupin was the only one we knew out of the group that's here on this team now. Like, none of them were on the radar really necessarily, so except for maybe Danae Fritz, because she had taken it to Bailey about twice at that point. We were like, Danae, come join the team. But everybody else, we didn't really know them yet, and they still got it done. So that's kind of my piece on the whole season so far. Before we jump into Big 12, if you have anything to say to follow that up. But special season, and to me, it doesn't matter what they do from here on out, although I think they can do big things. Super cool. It's the best story on campus, in my opinion, this year, because of where they were picked and where they finished.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's been an incredible season. They still have a lot of big things to do, but I think Bailey Maupin is Coach Gerlich's only player to play all 4 years as a Lady Raider here. So I think that's really special that for her senior year, she was finally able to get all these monkeys off their backs, and to be able to break all these droughts and to break a lot of records. Like, Bailey absolutely deserves it, because I mean, there are some very rough years. The past, or at least her past 2 years, have been really rough, and to be able to come out of that, go on that run last March, dating back to March 1st, and to really come out of that kind of like, with some sort of hope, and then we were able to hit the portal well and get these 9 seniors in here. I mean, it's just an absolutely incredible story. And yeah, as you said, we didn't know that any of these players were going to be here. As a matter of fact, I was actually watching Jada Malone play in an A&M uniform in College Station 2 years ago. Fan. Yeah, so like I was watching that. So I mean, it's just quite incredible that this group of people all came together. We were going portal shopping, like, oh, maybe this would be good, and then we see
got a couple of our gems,
our
on the
portal
team.
Diamonds and gems, all the things. So
and then some of them we didn't know about. It's just,
right, I know, and then they just surprised us and went on and are doing amazing things. So yeah, I think that. I mean, this story is just so cool on campus. Picked to finish 13th. You're going to finish tied in 4th place. I mean, this team has beat all the top teams in the Big 12. I mean, swept Baylor. I mean, the list will just go on and on and on. And I'm just so excited to see postseason Bailey Maupin, NCAA tournament Bailey Maupin come that.
She deserves it so much.
It's so exciting.
But all of them do. Like, we just talked about Adley deserves it for I mean, she, like Gerlich talked about it today, like, she was on a great team in a great situation, and life sucks sometimes, and the Pac-12 completely imploded. Who could have predicted that when she committed there? She's on an Elite 8 team and has all these friends, and, like, that was such a cool team, and I'd hate it for the basketball. Like, they all had to go elsewhere, and you can still see they're really close, and, like, they're always tweeting or, like, posting social media posts about how much they miss each other from that team, and, like, I don't blame them. Like, they got that stolen from them. But because of that, they all ended up other places. She ended up here, and now she's going to get back on that stage. Danae Fritz, I mean, she's taken a crazy journey. She has a story to tell someday when she wants to tell it, and she's grown up because of all that, and now she's getting to lead a team. Bailey Maupin hasn't had a chance to be on that stage, but she has been to the postseason. This will be the 3rd time she's in some sort of postseason, right? So she has that to her name, and all these other players. Jada Malone, the one time she made the NCAA tournament, was injured, so she didn't get to play in it yet, Like, Sydney Love went undefeated, right? Like, lost 1 game in conference last year. Like, they were on the cusp of going to the NCAA tournament, and then they lost their conference tournament, and so she doesn't get to go. Like, that's just unfair mid-major life. Hema Nunez, I think they lost in the semifinals of hers last year. Like, all these people that have been really close and haven't had a chance to break through. So It's all big stuff. And now they're headed to the Big 12 tournament. And we're going to have another episode at some point this week. We're going to figure out the schedule. I'm traveling to Kansas City at some point. I will be there all week no matter what, doing some stuff like covering games, but it would be really damn cool if I get to cover Texas Tech all the way to Sunday, not just random teams, Tyler.
Right.
I'm just putting that out there. If they want to do that for me, that would be hype. But yeah, we'll do like maybe a bigger preview at some point, or at minimum like a recap of their wins or Thursday game, and then a preview of forward. We'll figure it out. But I'm going to steal a quote from old Tom Stone. He said before the NCAA tournament to his team, because they had the draw that they had, if there was ever a time to give everything you have to a sport, to your team, it's this week. That's what his rallying cry was to the soccer team that week, because the draw was so good. And they really did that, and they almost took down the defending champs and went on. They could have gone all the way to the Final Four, just like whoever won that game was going to go to the Final Four, and TCU did. It could have been Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. Both of them went to PKs, and they got lucky, and Tech didn't. That's what PKs are. But I just love that quote, and that's how I feel about this team. If there's ever a time that this team gives everything to the sport, ever a time for this team to give everything to their teammates, it's this week. I can't wait for the NCAA tournament. That's cool. Yeah. And that's going to be like a celebration, and they could go on a run. I think a Sweet 16 berth is possible for this team as the draw. For sure. Right. They could do that, and that would be insane. But I don't, like, what happens there, we'll find out. It's like a 1% chance that they win the NCAA tournament. Let the team go cook. I'm never going to put a ceiling on them. No ceilings, as Bailey Maupin said. But if we're talking probability, there is a very good chance they could win the Big 12. And so this week, to me, is like way more exciting in that sense, that how damn cool would it be if this team gets to celebrate under confetti together a week from today, next Sunday, unless BYU's in the championship and then it's Monday. Next Sunday, most likely, they could be playing for a championship together if they just go all in and they do it. And they're very capable of it. They've beaten all the top teams. They're gonna have to beat a couple of teams that they have lost to, though, to get it done. But they've shown that they can learn from it. So Thursday, 11 a.m., they will play the winner of Cincinnati, who we beat on the road early in Big 12 play. So it was a tough game, but we beat them. Or Kansas State, who we lost to at home, who punked us. But I think we learned a lot from that game. Not an easy team either way. We're not going to do a big preview, but what I'll say on K-State is they're not your normal 13 seed, because they were missing Tess Hill, their leading scorer, for like 4 games in the middle of Big 12 play, naturally right after they played us. So they lost a good chunk of games in the middle, and then she's come back, and they've been better since then, of course, with their leading scorer back, and upset a couple of people. Do I think we can win that game? Yes. Do I think that we should win that game? Yes. Do I think we have to play good to win the game? Yeah. There's about 10 teams in the Big 12 that could win this tournament, and I would not be shocked. I'm not even kidding.
Literally.
Like, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I believe that. Like, Iowa State's like a 9 seed or something insane. Like, they could win the whole thing.
They really could.
Kansas is an 11 seed. Kansas could win the whole thing. Like, it's insane. Kansas State, never say never, but they're not going to, because we're going to win, whether it's them. And then, you know who we play, Tyler?
Oklahoma State, and you called it.
I'm excited for it. I love a good rematch, but I swear to God, I hate my gut sometimes. I said that a few episodes ago. I said my basketball gut is rarely wrong when we were recapping the Oklahoma State game. And I said, I just have a feeling we're going to play this team again in the Big 12 tournament, so we're going to have to figure out how to beat them. It's not a good matchup for us in a lot of ways, but it is away from Stillwater, where they're a different team, typically.
Very different
and
team.
Our team has learned a lot from first games that they've played into the second game. And also, I think our team is going to be playing, I'm hopeful. Again, I don't know them. I don't know what they're thinking. But I'm hoping they're playing back to their beginning of Big 12 self, when we used to say they don't give a shit. That's how that team played for the first half. So, like, this team just doesn't give a shit in the best way possible. I think towards the last couple of weeks of this season, they were giving a shit in, like, a way you don't want them to, because it became about them, if that makes sense. It's easy to ignore the outside noise, but it was like, okay, senior day, like, for a while, like, they couldn't escape it. Like, it was every game they played was on someone's senior day. It feels like for the last 2 weeks. So whether it was someone else's or their own, that's all past now. And they've gotten all that out of the way, and they've achieved what they want to achieve. So I'm hoping they get back to just playing like that stuff. They don't care about all that, and they just kind of keep it about them, and they play basketball. They're going to have to do that to beat Oklahoma State, but they can, for sure. So I apologize for my gut being correct But I also think the team probably is excited to right that wrong that they feel like they didn't play very well against OK State. And there's no question that if you win, that's who you're playing. So we're not like thinking they have a bye.
Mm-hmm.
So you play if you win on Thursday, you play Oklahoma State no matter what.
Yeah.
So,
and there's something
that.
to be said about playing a day before. I mean, Oklahoma State is going to have to shake off
warm up.
like a week of rest, so maybe getting a warm up. Last year we almost beat them, and we started like even like a game or two behind that. Like we were in the Kansas State Cincinnati spot last year, so we very much could have a lot of momentum coming off of a win either against Kansas State or Cincy going into that OK State game. And yeah, Oklahoma State is a very different team on the road, so I would assume that we can probably right a lot of wrongs that we made in Stillwater and really make that game be something important, because it'll also add to our resume as well. I mean, you're talking about seeding lines. Every game's important.
One game, probably.
Quad 1, Quad 2.
A neutral site game?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to win for sure if we can do it. But we'll probably talk more about that game in a preview of that game later in the week, because I bet we'll talk to you guys before then. So we'll break that down more once we get there, because we're going to win on Thursday. Got to get that done. But they do play at 11 a.m. on Thursday, so we could probably record an episode later that day and maybe post it that night. We'll see. But yeah, and then you get past them, you're realistically, I mean, I don't say you might play TCU. I think someone could upset TCU. They have to play Utah again probably, and Utah beat TCU.
Yeah.
So I really don't think that this tournament's going to chalk out. I really don't, just because the Big 12's been insane. And I hope it doesn't, because we're a 5 seed. So if we want to go all the way, it can't chalk out. But I do think I would not be shocked. I think I'd be more surprised if the 1 seed won the Big 12 tournament than if it didn't. Even though the 1 seed is freaking TCU, who by far has the most like WNBA talent on it, for sure. Although we have Snow Collins.
That is true.
And Bailey Malvin.
That is true.
But anyway, their roster is the most expensive for sure. I'll put it that way. So they would be the favorites, but they don't play great away from home either.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting. And I mean, I think there's like 4 or 5 Big 12 teams that are on the bubble right now. So everyone's going to be fighting for their life to try to get into the NCAA tournament. So we are going to be playing some of those teams in there.
We should be used to that.
So yeah, we should be.
Because every team we've played lately has been like
Bubble
Colorado
team.
needed to beat us to get into the NCAA tournament. Kansas needed to beat us to get in the NCAA tournament. Did Kansas win today? I have no idea. They needed to beat us, and whoever they played.
State yesterday.
Saturday. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So their hopes are probably done unless they win the Big 12 tournament. But like everybody we played needed to beat us for a while. Arizona State today had to beat Texas Tech to get to 10 Big 12 wins and have a chance to get into the NCAA tournament. So like we've kind of been playing against do or die teams for a while now. So I'm hoping that helps us, kind of the frenetic urgency that teams play against you with in that sense. I'm hoping that helps us. And they are at 11 a.m. So yeah, maybe getting one 11 a.m. game under your belt will give you an edge over the next one. Now the team you're going to play on Thursday is going to already have that under their belt. So you're going to have to come out firing because they're going to be feeling good about themselves. But our team should know that because they were that team last year. They know how you can sneak up on people. So
they do.
Yeah, and well, if it's K-State, then they're not getting snuck up on because they got beat. So it is interesting when you look at all 4 games that are playing on Wednesday. There's only one matchup of those that doesn't have a team that beat us in it. Like Arizona and Arizona State play each other. We beat both of them. Everybody else has at least one team that beat us in it. And so, of those, I don't hate this draw, to be honest.
Yeah,
I did not want to play Kansas again.
No, I didn't.
Like, the fouls, that's just not fun basketball. Listen, we didn't play great in that game. We clamped up, and we could have done better. We were stupid, but I just don't like to watch that basketball. Samaya Nichols is great. Great player.
Very great
It's
player.
not my cup of tea to watch someone just draw 18 fouls a game. Granted, we have to play Staley Hurd, so I guess such is life.
Yeah. That is very true.
Yeah, we could yap more about that, but Big 12 tournament playing on the glass floor. So we'll see. I think the team is actually traveling up earlier than they probably would normally because of that. I believe they're going up on Tuesday, it sounds like. Okay. So they can get practice in on this fancy new floor. Because a lot of teams have been practicing on it. Like, because it was made in Orlando. And so when Big 12 teams have been playing at UCF, they've been practicing on the floor. But we didn't travel to UCF. Right. So we're not one of the teams that got to practice on it yet. And Kansas State did practice on it. So if that's who we play, they practiced on it when they went to Orlando. I don't know if that matters, but psychologically, whatever. I'm interested to see how it works.
Yeah.
A glass floor freaks me out, but everyone says it's safer than a normal floor.
Really? Okay.
That's what, I mean, of course they're going to say that, but that's what the studies show. There's actual data on it. I just don't know how distracting like the logos change. Like, do they change while they're playing? Like, I'm so like intrigued. Like, I've joked that they need to do the NBA Jam. Like, when Danae Fritz hits 3 threes in a row like she did last year during the Big 12 tournament, we know she's going to do it again. Like, I want that little NBA Jam, like, fire,
oh my
she's
gosh,
heating up thing to pop up on the...
That'd be so funny.
The players would probably be like, absolutely not. We're trying to play a freaking game here. Stop distracting us. But I think it would be hilarious and great content. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think it stays the same while the game's happening, but it like changes between when there's timeouts and stuff. There's like stuff happening on it.
Right.
But we'll find out. The women's tournament will be kind of like the guinea pigs.
For sure.
So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I've never been to Kansas City at all. I've never been to the Big 12 tournament, but I'm excited. I'm going to try to go up on Tuesday so I can experience all the fun stuff before the games. Tech plays on Thursday, but there's a bunch of games Wednesday. So we'll see. We'll have all the content for you. And hopefully I am able to cover Texas Tech all the way through the week, and I'm not having to cover insert whatever team that would be. I don't want to disparage anybody that wins it, but I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, in the Big 12 tournament, I mean, but the way how it's set up in women's basketball, it really is a good opportunity to really help improve your chances and to really learn a lot from it because, I mean, you get a whole week off until really 2 weeks off until you play again. Like, it's so like...
You've heard me talk about it before. Like, I'm not a conference tournament person. I'm not.
Yeah.
Because there's no upside to winning it in most sports. Well, in this instance, just because the parity in women's basketball is so much better. It absolutely is. But still at the top, it's still UConn and South Carolina and LSU. Like, we would have to play out of our minds. I'm not saying don't dream big and all the things. But they could win the Big 12 tournament.
They could.
They could hold a trophy above their heads and have confetti. Last year would have been a long shot, right? That's not a long shot. I think there's people that were picking, like, hey, man, Texas Tech, if they did get back to playing like themselves, like, they beat all these teams. Like, there's people picking us as a dark horse to win it or whatever. I think there's about 5 teams that people are picking to win, and we're one of them. But I think all the way down to 10 could win it. I'm not even kidding. Iowa State is scary. I'm glad they're on the other side of our bracket.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, and there's no, like, you're going to tire yourself out before the NCAA tournament, and you have 3 days to prepare for No. You get a whole freaking week off. Like, go, like I said earlier, take Tom Stone's thing. If there's ever a time to devote yourself to a sport and devote yourself to your team, it's this week. Block out all the noise. The experience is great. All the things that are happening, and some of them are going to be experiencing it for their first time, but it all about the team and all about the basketball. Like, if they do that, they could win the Big 12 tournament this week.
They could.
I'm not like just spitting nonsense. Like, anybody could win. Yeah, that's true. Arizona could win the Big 12 tournament. That is true. But some things would have to go wrong for other teams. Nothing has to go wrong for anybody. The Texas Tech plays. They just have to play their basketball. And everybody show up and be healthy. They need Snow Collins to be healthy, but it sounds like she's all right.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch them, and I'm hoping they get off on the right foot on Thursday and then just kind of carry that through. If they beat Oklahoma State, man, I don't think there's any stopping this team. If you beat back-to-back teams that you lost to, I think this team's going to be riding confident highs, ready to take on the world.
Yeah, it'll be so fun to watch.
It's gonna be, and I kind of like that they play early in the day because then they can watch and recover.
Teams, yeah.
And they're old, so they're probably going to sleep early and getting up early anyway. Girl talks about how old they are all the time, and I'm just like, I mean, they're still like 23 years old, but anyway, I get it. Relative. But yeah, so maybe the 11 a.m. game won't bother them like it does some of these young whippersnappers that are up till 1 a.m. scrolling on TikTok.
Right.
Our team's snug in bed by 9 p.m. That's right. That's how she talks about them, but I don't know if that's true, but I hope that's true. They're old ladies, like she says, and they're all asleep by 9 p.m. ready to go. And this young K-State team, if that's who it, both teams, Cincy and K-State, are both very young. They'll be up too late, scrolling on TikTok, watching their highlights.
Not ready.
They'll be snoozing at 11 a.m. All right. We'll be back to talk about them We might have a special guest, but I'll save that name. It'll be a fun special guest. We're working on it. If it doesn't happen for the Big 12 tournament, what I will say is we're going to get her on for the NCAA tournament. I've already talked to her about it, so we're going to figure it out. If it's not this week, it'll be next. So we'll have that. Softball going to be playing postseason down the line. Right now, they're just warming themselves up. I went to quite a few of these games. I didn't go to either of the Sunday games, but I went to all the games, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Just a lot of records happening this week. The competition was not good outside of North Texas, which was kind of expected. But we didn't just win. We did it in record-setting fashion, so that's at least something you can be like, okay, you were supposed to win, yes, but you're also dominating. They had 2 no-hitters in the same day from Nyjah Kennedy and Caitlin Terry. So Nyjah, for like a couple of hours, held the record for most no-hitters in a career for Texas Tech because she had 2 from one last year. And then Caitlin got one 2 hours later, and now she has 2 in the same season. And now we have 3 no-hitters in one season, which is now the school record for the most as a team because we had 2 in one season before that. We also have tied the school record for runs in a game twice this weekend at 24. We broke the school record today for home runs in a game with 8. I think we also broke the record for hits in a game today. I think I saw maybe like 24 or something today. We had a bunch of people join the Boom Club, which I didn't get to formally welcome 3 of y'all. I will do it on Twitter tomorrow, delayed, because was that basketball. But Caitlin Terry and Michaela Garcia joined the Boom Club today. Was that both today?
Yes.
Caitlin hit her first one. Yeah. Today, a Sunday. And so I was covering basketball after that. So I didn't get to properly welcome. I know that they're worried about this. I know they'd
so worried,
concerned about it. But yeah, they did, and then Jackie joined it the other day. So 3 new people hit a home run, up to 13 players on the team with a home run now. 2 of them tied at 8. Mia and Loggy went on a tear this weekend. She had 3 or 4, maybe 4 this weekend. As a team, we're only 15 home runs away from our total from all of last year. We have 45 home runs right now. We had 60 all of last year.
Wow.
Boom City. And we're still on bases, too. It's craziness. Not quite the same clip because we're hitting home runs all the time. So they don't need to still base because they're not on the base. They're just trading places. But yeah, the injury updates, Alana Johnson, that's a bummer. I don't know when it happened. Maybe in practice or maybe in that last game of California. But she has a cast on her left-hand arm. Anybody that watched the games can see that, so that's not groundbreaking information. Jerry was asked about it after one of the games, and he just said they're waiting on further evaluation from doctors before they're going to share any more info because they don't really know what the prognosis is. But she has a cast on her arm, which is not ideal. Hopefully she can get back to, they'll figure that out.
Hopefully.
In the meantime, that's why you're so deep. And this is what they built the team to be able to kind of overcome. We'll see if she can come back later in the year, though, and finish out her senior year strong. Sam Lincoln was in a boot all weekend. I know we got like 9 million messages about this. Yes, I could see that Sam Lincoln was in a boot. I'm not blind. But I didn't have any other info except that I was told that it wasn't serious. And sure enough, she pitched on Sunday. Just 2 innings. But she got in there and pitched. I think she gave up 1 run in the first inning and then kind of settled in from there. And then Desi Spearman took over and finished the game out with a run rule. So, but good to see her back out there. Need that. I mean, you have Caitlin Terry and Nyjah Kennedy. You're going to be all fine. But the idea is you don't want to use them every day if you don't have to. And so to have her back out there was big. And then, of course, looking ahead before Tyler reads off any shout-outs that he has for the team, they do open Big 12 play this week, correct? I didn't make that up, right?
Yes,
at Houston on the road. So we'll be covering that. I don't know. Well, it'll work out because women's basketball should be playing in the morning. And so these games, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But it's on the road at Houston. Those are all sold out from what I heard. Probably mostly our team's family members because half our team is from Houston. So I know they're all very excited to be playing there.
Yeah, it'll be fun to finally start conference play. I think this was a good week to kind of have, right? We were playing some really tough competition the past several weekends, so it was really good to be back at home and to really just kind of stat pad, I guess, if you will. I mean, in a sense, but our players are just definitely elite. I mean, yeah, it's definitely stat pad. I mean, the amount of strikeouts that Nyjah had 13 or 12 strikeouts, something like that yesterday. I mean, absolutely insane. And her no-hitter. I mean,
like I was there for that, and it was like that's a historic moment, and everyone just no, oh, another no hitter. Oh, we just watched 2 no hitters. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just like light work.
Casually.
But like, they weren't like we played some shitty teams last year, and it wasn't like we were throwing no hitters every time. Naja
We
had
weren't.
one.
Literally.
One no hitter.
It was against Kansas.
And sometimes that's because of the defense. Like, there was plays that these people had to make behind them. Like, when they do get a hold of one, they have to make a diving catch or two. And, like, this team was doing that for both of them. Like, they each had a couple of people make plays. And then we were not doing this offensively against shitty teams last year consistently like this.
Oh, no.
So, like, you see it, and then you play a better pitcher against UNT, and it slows down a little bit, but you still win by 5. Like, and then you play an even better pitcher, it's going to be a 3-1 game or a 3-2 game. Like, that's how it works. Like, we're not going to be beating OU 15-0. But you need to have these hitters, so close games too relative. So it's all relative, I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it was really good to just see, like, you know, more players, you know, get added to the Yaboom club. You know, Jackie, we knew that
Whole
coming from Southern Illinois, we knew that she could hit bombs. KT was getting really, really close, like all tournaments long. I was like, all right, come on, KT. So finally today, she broke that. Shout out to Michaela Garcia for getting a huge
Oh my God,
home
a
run.
double too.
I know.
I want
and
to
a
go back and
double.
watch those highlights because that was during the women's game. I didn't get to watch it, but
I need to
MK
go
went
back
off.
and watch
Good
it
for her.
too. I know, absolutely went off. So I mean, everybody is really stepping up. They're showing their depth. They're showing how great they are. I mean, just Mia Williams has just been absolutely insane at the plate. Quietly. I mean, just doing incredible things. Loggy, I mean, out there, you know, being one of our
Desiree
out
Spearman.
there.
I mean,
Oh, I know, Des Spearman. I mean, and I was saying the other day, I mean, there are quite a lot of people that were in that portal, and I think that Des Spearman was probably one of the more maybe underrated players that were in there.
Absolutely.
And we ended up picking her up from right across the border, and she came over and she was doing exactly what she was doing there. I mean, she had like 17, 20 home runs there. I mean, she's on track to maybe get that this season potentially out there. I mean, Des Spearman's been looking great. I mean,
insane.
it's absolutely
She's
insane.
so athletic too, and everybody you've named there is a junior.
Yeah, they're coming back next year.
They're all. These are all. Everyone's worried about next year. I'm like, no, these are all people. Like Caitlin Terry. Like these are all juniors. Like Maya Davis is the only hitter in your top group, which is All American, that is a senior right now, and she's probably been our most consistently hitter as far as like power and for average because she has 8 doubles, 2 triples, and 3 home runs, and she's hitting 506.
Nuts.
But Caitlin Terry is giving her a run for her money after this weekend because she got a home run and a double this weekend. So now she has, and a triple this weekend. So she has 8 doubles, a triple, and a home run. And she's hitting 560. I got to put a graphic out about KT this week if someone else, the team doesn't do it. Like, I don't think people are talking about Caitlin Terry enough nationally right now.
And the way that she's become
numbers she's
such
putting
a
up.
dynamic two-way player, because at UCLA she was not that. I mean, she had like a 217 batting average. They didn't really let her bat a whole lot. And here, I mean, it just shows how great our coaches are. I mean, we knew Coach Glasgow is the best hitting coach in the country. Now KT is almost our number 1 leading hitter. I mean,
she
that's
is
insane.
average-wise.
Yeah.
She is our leading hitter. She just gets on base. And they moved her up in the lineup today, and she said, "Got you, coach."
Bet.
I'll get on base from the 2-hole. So yeah, it's just what she's doing special. I think it goes to show that Glasgow is a great hitting coach, but also she's been open about it, so we can speak about it. She's just happier.
She is. Way happier.
Like, she gets to show her tattoos, gets to be herself. She got a new puppy. Like, life is good for Caitlin Terry in Lubbock, and she loves it here, and the haters can shut up. That's all I'm going to say. People think that they just come here for whatever they come here for, and maybe that's what gets them on the phone, but then they get here and they're like, there's just like a piece about Lubbock, and I can say there's someone that came back. So we talked all about that with Gerlich. So no, you don't get it until you get it, but that's why those conversations with people, I'm just like, y'all are just you're just so off base. You have no idea what you're talking about. And I wouldn't lie to you. If I hated Lubbock, I'd just be like, yeah, it's a great place to go to school, but like I would never live there. Right. I literally came back. I live here now. And I don't have any, other than the weather every once in a while. Dust storms being weird. But the 90% other days where it's perfect and there's no traffic and the people are just like,
nice.
So nice. I moved back, and when I was looking for everything, they were just like, "Did you go to school here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And it's like instantly like just, "Oh, okay." Like Red Raider, okay, here's a 20% discount just cuz. I'm like, I'm like not here anymore, but anyway, like it's just like they if you're one of their own, you're one of your own, and I feel like the team they feel embraced in that way. And I'm not saying that maybe it didn't happen at her last school, but she didn't feel like she could be herself. It doesn't mean that other people aren't at that school. But she didn't feel like that way, and now she is. And that goes a long way. For sure. Competition's going to stiffen up. But she's been doing this against everybody. I mean, frickin' Japan.
Literally, freaking Japan. The reigning Olympic champions. Like,
So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we could talk about them more, but it's gonna be softball like special season soon once we get past basketball, and they're gonna be getting all the highlights and stuff. But really cool stuff from all of them. Got to talk to Jackie after one of the games. That's on YouTube.
that was hype.
As much as they let us do that, guys, I'll interview all the players. It was tough to do any other because there was games happening afterwards on the field, so we didn't get like press access or whatever to the team. But if there are, we'll get them on there. We talked to Haley Toney after the first game. I didn't post that one because it was like a group thing, but I think I put it in the article. But they changed their swing, which I felt good about because I was having not an argument, but a discussion with somebody else at the game. I was like, am I blind or is Haley Toney gripping the backwards? Like it's like opposite of what she used to do, her hands. And they're like, no, I don't think so. I think her stance is just wider. I was like, no, like something's different. And so I asked Glasgow after that game. I didn't ask him specifically about the stance, but I just said, I just wanted to see what he'd say. I was like, did what changed for Haley between last weekend and the first 2 weekends of the season and this weekend? Did y'all do something? And he said, yeah, I was just watching film and thought that this would work, and so we did it. And I was like, when? And he's like, yesterday, like the day before the game. He just up and was like, hey, do you want to change your entire stance and your entire grip? And Haley, I asked Haley, and she was like, well, at first I thought it was a little crazy. And then we got out there, and I was hitting with him, and I was like, it actually worked. And so I was like, that's just crazy to me that you can change what you've been doing. Like,
Right.
Maybe not her whole life, but I don't think it was a major tweak, but it was like just a slight, just the way she was holding it was very different if you've watched her play. And I've watched her enough play, like it was clear to me that something was different. And then she hit a home run in her first at bat with that new swing, and I think that was her only home run of the weekend, but she hit for like a high average this weekend. She was getting on base a lot and a lot of RBIs. So, yeah, hitting coach wizard for sure. And then Tara Archibald, give her shine.
Oh, yeah.
Pitching coach.
Coach Tara.
2 no-hitters in a
Wow.
weekend? Like, what is she feeding these people? That's insane. I don't care who you're playing. Competition's about to get better. Houston's been pretty good in the non-con. They've beaten some
have.
SEC teams and stuff, so good test. Let's
They're
go
out
sweep
there.
them, though.
Yeah, let's go sweep them. Hopefully it's a lot of Red Raider fans there. Speaking of fans, shout out to our fans. Thursday at 5 p.m. I mean, y'all probably got off of work early. Y'all packed in. Some of y'all were filling in, and y'all packed out the place. Y'all packed out the place really
Very
all weekend.
impressed.
Outfield was impressive, but yeah, we had 1,626 fans for a season opener, which was the highest
honor.
attended. And I was talking to their SID, Jay, and he actually said that was the highest, I think, regular season attended game other than the NCAA regional. So pretty impressive stuff from
Yeah.
Raider fans. Y'all welcome
Most-
them in.
I bet if you ask Jay again, I don't know what the attendance was today because I
It
didn't go,
probably
but
was higher. Yeah.
it was
or-
higher than today. It was higher.
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about like maybe another game on Friday or something like that when the outfield was pretty packed. Yeah.
Yeah, Friday I think probably had the big. I don't know. Friday seemed bigger than, but they didn't announce that it was bigger. But who knows? Anyway, what I was saying is that any crowd that was at a game all weekend, I can't speak to Sundays, but any crowd in the first 3 days I was there, I swear was bigger than any regular season crowd
Oh, yeah.
last year, except for maybe Oklahoma State. But Friday and Thursdays were bigger than Oklahoma State. I don't know. Saturday was maybe, but it was still pretty crowded. So that's crazy to me. So, but not crazy. Like we knew people were going to show up, and then the next time they're here, it's Big 12 play. So I don't think it's going to be that hard to sell. So kudos to y'all, marketing wise. Y'all got people there, and now it's should sell itself. Better be sold out. Arizona, right?
Yes.
Get your tickets now.
Arizona.
They don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
get 'em now.
softball really doesn't have that many games at home. Like it's like in and out, and it's postseason. They're gone.
It's very quick.
Well, hopefully they're not gone. I guess. Hopefully they're hosting, but yeah. Softball, men's basketball. We're not gonna do a huge breakdown, but shout out the boys going on the road. Our demise was greatly exaggerated. Beat number 4 Iowa State. Grant McCaslin is a wizard. Donovan Atwell, my guy. 18 points, 6 threes. Christian Anderson, 14 points. Luke, he's really starting to shine, getting to be the 5 guy. We talked about that before. Some people are just more comfortable that way. That's clearly the case for him. But we had 6 people in double figures. Tyree Bryan was a big one to step up in the way he did. We don't win without him. It got a little squirrely at the end. I was at the softball game tracking it. We tried to lose, but we had a good enough lead that we didn't. That Hilton Magic almost got us. But closed it out. Yeah, I mean, you can sit here like I've seen people try to qualify it, like, yeah, they also lost to BYU by a lot there. Like it happens to them a couple times a year, blah blah. I'm like, okay. Anyway, we just beat number 4 on the road without an All-American on our team. Now, I'm not in the boat that this is like the greatest Cinderella story in the world. Like I think some of our fans are a little delusional. Like this roster is still, I mean, Toppin made $4 million, so $6 million is still of money was being spent on this roster, which is about probably even with a lot of other teams you're playing. Like a lot of money's flying around in men's basketball. These are great players, is all I'm saying. And you have an All-American and Christian Anderson still on your team. You still should be a good team. But to regroup in the way that they did in a week and go on the road and beat number 4, even if you had JT, that would have been impressive. You don't beat Iowa State at Hilton. So McCaslin's a wizard. I hope they can keep it up. I think the offense looks better, to be honest, than it did before, because we're actually moving the ball and playing together. You just don't have, when you get past the Sweet 16, you don't have a guy you can just give the ball and go score.
Right.
Which is what you really helps you in the NCAA tournament. But if all these role players do what they're doing in this game, you can beat anybody. It's just like it's going to have to be a big we thing, not a 1-2 thing. But if they get the we of it, they're fun.
Yeah, they've definitely figured some things out. I mean, and as you said, role players stepping up huge. Josiah Mosley had 9 rebounds in this game and 10 points, almost had a double-double. I mean, and if you look at the rebounding in general, Lawan had 7, Petty had 9. I mean, they are stepping up.
On the floor.
Literally, they're over here stepping up and really regrouped, and they're really trying to, make something. They're really trying to keep on making something special right out of the season. And yeah, I completely agree. I don't think it's the complete Cinderella or underdog story, if you will, but the regroup has definitely been super impressive. I don't think when Toppin ended up getting rolled out for the season that it was the end of the world for this basketball team. We still have really good players, as you said. They just had to find different ways to step up and find their role. And the amount of time they did that is really impressive because now they're nearing the end of their season. Last time, you can go watch them on Tuesday at home at 6 o'clock against TCU, Senior Day. It'll be a fun one. So y'all go out and support this team and everything that they've done. Celebrate that huge win off of Iowa State. Come off with that big energy. And yeah, I mean, it's good to be playing your best basketball in March. That's what we've been saying. So
yeah, and Grant's teams always are. So. And it also, I mean, I don't know this, but it could also be this last time you get to watch Christian Anderson in that building because he's going to get, if he keeps playing this way, he's going to be a first-round draft pick. And I don't know if you turn that down, even for big NIL money. I just don't know. Maybe he will. But it could be the last time you see someone like him as well as the seniors. So we'll see. Go watch them, get a dub, and then they'll be on the road to finish the season, I guess, before Big 12 play or Big 12 tournament. Well, I don't know where they play, but
I think.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, altitude, but yeah, finish strong. I think they still can get a double bye, potentially into the 4, but they need some things to happen for them, for that to happen. But if they win out, they have a good chance of getting in the 4 seed. They were picked to finish like 1st or 2nd, so it's like not that kind of thing, but still, to still get there even after JT fell off. Because I think a lot of people thought they'd end up at like the 7-6 range after that, but. They still did it, so good for them. Hype. It's a good time to be a Red Raider. Lots of winning happening.
It is. Fun times.
All right, lots of winning happening. The next thing that's going to win is the Lady Raiders are going to go win a Big 12 title. Shock the world.
It's going to be hype.
Confetti. I'll bring home some confetti, and I'll give it to you, Tyler.
Thank you.
I
appreciate that.
I will collect it, put it in my pocket. I got to bring it back for a lot of people. No, real talk, Tyler. If we make the Big 12 championship, are you driving to Kansas City?
Oh gosh, maybe.
There's got to be like a caravan of people that would go with you.
There has to be something. Yeah.
There'd be people that would go.
Maybe some cheap flight ticket will come up.
I didn't look at. Yeah, flights aren't actually that bad, but I just need my vehicle, so it's not that bad of a drive. I'm psychotic though, so anyway, we're gonna end it there. As always, y'all, go watch all the sports and wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.